Well, I took my Greg Judy flock sire out of the herd. He's going to the new owner today, and it's really fascinating to see how this disjoints the unity and hierarchy of this sheep flock. And what's been the most fascinating is the Katahdin ram. He's about 10 months old now, is the most upset. And he's one who got absolutely whooped on by the big boy. And you can hear them buying a little more than usual, and they're kind of just saying, "Well, what now? What's So it's going to take me driving away with George for them to like reorder, and he'll probably go back to being in charge or one of the old ewes, and everything will settle back down. But he's just across the fence line here. And the dogs are confused, and the flock is confused, and particularly his little buddy right there isn't sure what's going on. So I'm going to need to take him up to the house, and then he's getting shipped off to a really nice Amish fella from Wisconsin that I've been talking to a little bit. He's looking to start up a flock in his community, and had a lot of really good questions, and he seemed very sold on the genetics this big guy has to offer. I explained to him about my lambing rate, the durability of his offspring, his gentleness generally, and parasite resistance, never been wormed. He was very impressed by that. I think he almost didn't believe me, and he had not heard of Greg Judy because, I don't think he has the internet. So I explained to him and said, you can go find his books if you really want to read what he's about. And so he's very excited and to get this guy and start his own flock in the Amish community up by Hayward. And in the meantime, my flock will have to reorder itself without the big boss in the bunch. And we're going to be restarting from some ram lambs in my own flock, I think. I have not made up my mind whether I want to reach out to Greg and Jan and go back and get one more, and keep this Katahdin boy for one more year, and then get one more ram lamb from Greg and Jan. Or do I just close up the flock, sell off, pick my best ram lambs, sell their mothers, and go forward internally? Yeah. And this is why I kind of talk this stuff out loud, because I know part of that reason is then I don't have to drive and leave the farm and go to the whole hassle of getting down to Missouri. But with the flocks this size, I might need to grow it out a little more before I close it up. So it's a lot about doing what's going to be long-term best instead of giving in to my laziness. Yeah, we'll see. All right, so I got to go get the truck and trailer hooked up and drink some coffee. I had a rough morning waking up this morning. But it's a beautiful sunrise on a calm and kind of cloudy day, and life is good. We had talked for a long while, and he ended up buying my flock sire. That was my Greg Judy ram, so that situation has resolved itself. And we now have to make a choice going forward. So thank you, Ben. I know you're going to be very happy with that fella. We took him out. We drove him out to him, because I gather he would have had to arrange transport with somebody, being Amish. So we drove. Doug and I drove him out, and he was over the moon. He said he'd never seen an animal that looked so robust and clean. And I told him, that's why I went all the way down to Greg's farm. Well, George Heller went down to Greg's farm, but that's why I sourced my ram from Greg's farm down in Missouri, is I was looking for those specific genetics, and he was very excited. He'd never heard a sheep that didn't need grain, so he was excited to try that as well. And he basically came out and said, hey, this is something that the people in his community needed to know about, and he took my number down and said he'd be getting in touch. Isn't this nice how tame this one's getting? If you guys remember how skittish she was. We're right here by the dog feeder. And so anyway, that was kind of a nice way to end the weekend, is, on Saturday, going and visiting and getting to know some people from that community, and then I come out here to sit down and talk, and look what this weather's doing. It's starting to snow. I mean, can I catch a break or what here? But so now this begs the question, what do we do moving forward? And I'm kind of torn about what to do. Part of me wants to go and get you just have to check out everything, huh? Part of me wants to go and get one more ram from Greg to grow my flock out one more year, because that means we'd have the Katahdin ram, who's I don't know where he is. He's somewhere in here. And then, oh, there he is, right there. We'd have the Katahdin ram that I bought locally, and then we'd have a Greg Judy ram lamb, and then we could cycle them out and start and close up the flock. But part of me wants to just close up the flock now, and what that would entail is basically keeping my best 2 ram lambs, selling their mothers, and carrying it forward with the genetics that I have. And the reason I'm considering that is I can only see 2 or 3 sheep in here that I wouldn't call absolutely top quality, that I would call good or average. And it makes me think about closing up the herd or the flock, but I am concerned that maybe I don't quite have the numbers that I need to do that. So it's just something to ponder as winter cannot take a hint. What are you guys doing? Hey, 14. Winter can't take a hint. It's March. Leave me alone. Good grief. So I have to ponder about what I'm going to do, and I haven't quite made up my mind yet as far as what to do about carrying the appropriate genetics forward or not. Do I close the flock, or do I go one more round and grow and double up one more time before I do that? So if anybody has any advice for me, that'd be great. I'm thinking about reaching out to Greg and Jan and seeing what they think. But I haven't quite made up my mind. Look at that. See how well she's healing up here? Isn't that nice? So that's all I have for today. I was going to sit out and think and basically chunt her to myself for a while tonight, but it's starting to snow and blow, and well, I think I've just about had enough.